My mom did not like that I threw college sort of away to pursue this acting thing until I booked this show. And she found out that Lisa Kudrow was on this show. She as the lead. That she's like, okay, my son's gonna do well. Like he's on Lisa's show.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Obsessed the Podcast.
Wait, Kevin, listen, you didn't say hello, like the special little welcome that you give to our comeback Rewatch podcast.
Oh my gosh.
You got to say it.
The shame. Valerie Cherish would be so ashamed. Hello. This is Obsessed the Podcast, and we are here to do another comeback Rewatch. I am Kevin Fallon, here to guide you through all the TV shows, movies, and celebrity hoopla that we think is unmissable. I'm here with my co-host, Dan Bucatinsky. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for having me yet again. This is such a blast.
Yes, as a reminder, we've been doing these once a week. We're bringing on our favorite actors from the show, getting all the behind-the-scenes scoop and their favorite stories from filming it. And as a reminder, you can watch seasons 1 and 2 right now on HBO Max. They're hilarious. Go do it.
Yes. This is a perfect time to catch up on season 1 and season 2 because they've just announced season 3 premieres March 22nd on HBO Max. So watch the series from the beginning and you'll catch up as faster than you think.
Yes. And Dan, our guest today, was such a delight. Oh my gosh, he was so great.
Kellan Lutz. He's just a find. He was like, it was one of his first jobs ever. He was studying chemical engineering. Who knew that? And he comes in with just nothing but joy and fun, which is why he got the part. It's what we were looking for Chris.
He was so funny and had such enthusiasm for talking about the show. Obviously, in the years since he shot it, he became this huge action movie star. He was in a little franchise you would have heard of called Twilight. I mean, it's a blast to hear from him talk about this show that means so much to him because it was his first big thing.
Yeah. And he's not hard on the eyes, but obviously, in addition to being sort of in the classic Hollywood beefcake kind of way, just a really smart, lovely, joyful guy who loves his wife and now has 2 kids. And I don't know, I found him really inspiring.
Yeah, it was a great conversation, and I'm so excited for y'all to hear it and watch it. So here is Kellan Lutz. Hello, Kellan Lutz. How are you?
Hey, I'm fantastic.
Oh, that's so good to hear. Dan and I have been having a blast rewatching the comeback, talking to all of our favorite stars from it. So thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, I mean, what a fun opportunity. I'm glad you're doing this and just in time for season 3, which I just saw the trailer for. Congratulations. It looks fantastic, hilarious. Dan, I can't wait to see where your character goes.
I'm going to places I've never been before. Let me just put it that way. And I've had to wear more skirts than I ever thought I would have to. But that's season 3. That wasn't the way it was.
No.
We're very excited to be able to go back. And luckily, the Daily Beast and Kevin and Obsessed Podcast has been willing to host these really special 6-episode podcasts where we're rewatching and going back and diving deep into seasons 1 and 2 of the comeback in preparation for people to watch season 3. And season 1, as you know, we made 12 episodes, I think, all with the intention of making more. And, when it didn't come back, we never thought it would come back 10 years later. But what an opportunity then to even revisit Chris 10 years later. But we'll take it in stages.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, Kellan, when was the last time you'd watched any of these episodes?
20 years ago, probably. I mean, I'm not one to watch my stuff. I don't watch a lot of television. When I go to movies, I get the popcorn when I go and watch there. And now I have 2 kids. So I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. So it's a lot of Paw Patrol, Danny Go, number blocks, alpha blocks. It's fun. But this was an amazing opportunity because I wasn't married then and not watching it. And now I am. Been married it's almost 9 years now. But I was like, hey, babe, I got to do homework. I got to watch some of these episodes.
Good homework.
For Dan, great homework. And man, I just going back, seeing Chris, seeing the episode, and like Chris being emotional because his dad's an alcoholic, and having my wife there next to me, just cracking up because she doesn't watch she doesn't watch anything of mine except for Stick It, which was one of my first movies. And this, I had to go down my IMDb. It was my first like real job.
That's what we were going to ask you. I was going to ask you, like, you were a young guy. We cast Room and Board as like, I remember when we cast Mullen and we were casting the young CW-esque cast of this Room and Board. And clearly the four of you were meant to be the fun, funsy, sexy, young. And I think it was one of Mullen's first jobs ever. I wondered if it was one of yours.
Yeah, it I think it was like number 3 or 4 on my IMDb. I just moved to LA and started pursuing this fun thing called acting. I had no idea what acting was. And going back to what you said, Dan, were you a part of the casting process?
I've been an executive producer on the show since the
Yeah.
beginning. So I was maybe I wasn't in every casting session, but I remember being at all of the callbacks with it's a different regime at HBO. We were in
Yeah.
a theater. We were in a theater where people were coming in and coming out. I remember casting Mullen. I don't remember to be honest with you, I don't remember seeing the other 3 cast members of Room and Board except at the end, except when we were at the final phase.
Yeah, see, and that's where my mind, like, I don't know if it's just having kids that like everything pre them, it's like, what happened? Like, I have to look at videos and photos. And, I was going to ask you, because I know you're a part of it. I'm like, what did I do to win me the job? Because I know watching my whole experience being an actor and not knowing anything about acting, just kind of falling into it and loving it. I feel like how I would get these roles were just me being me and not being desperate, not being just young Hollywood, loving what acting was. And because I was going to college for chemical engineering, but I had personality and being like, this acting thing seems really fun. And when I had auditions, very respectful, but it was just fun. It's fun using your imagination, being childlike as an adult. And I'm like, you can make a career out of this? Sign me up. And
You
so,
just said it, though. You just said it. When we were making the comeback, it was important because Lisa Kudrow had just come off of Friends, incredibly recognizable. She's playing a fictional character. So everybody in the world around her had to be people we haven't really seen before. And it was 2005. I was not well known at the time. I had just had a baby. In fact, I was bringing, my husband and I had just adopted our baby. We were bringing that little carrier to set every day. And for the most part, all the people who populated Valerie's world, including the actors on the TV show, had to feel like discoveries. And you walked in and you just were that guy. You were having a great time. You looked great, and you just brought the energy of Chris. So that is how people win roles. You come in and you're the part.
yeah.
And you had that. You had that element the whole season where you were kind of game, and when things were fucked up, you were like, "That's fucked up." But you all became a team pretty quickly, and it was
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, I loved our Room and Board cast. Like Mullen was amazing, Jason, Kim. Like we really just formed that family unit. And I love the concept of the show, the reality show within the sitcom. And I thought it was brilliant. I remember talking to people years later, and everyone said, like, yeah, I love the show. It was just like a couple years early, because then you had Curb Your Enthusiasm that sort of did similar, break the camera, look into it, break the fourth wall. But then that's why I was so excited when the comeback season 2 came around, because I don't know another show that has ever done that. And then now to triple down on that and do the comeback again, it's brilliant. And I love Michael Patrick King. Like he was and is whenever I see you, Dan, and whenever I don't live in Hollywood anymore, but I would see you guys out. I'd see Michael, and it's just like this. Thank you. Like I'd always run up to Michael and give him a big hug, and he'd be like, "Kellan, it's so good seeing you." I'm like, Man, I just love seeing your guys' smiles. It's really infectious, and so good seeing you here again.
Well, we feel the same way.
And
Thanks.
like Dan had mentioned, you were new to the game, and I'm so curious what it was like to be new and be in the show against Lisa Kudrow, who had just come off the biggest comedy of all time at that point. What were your nerves like? What were your feelings like? Do you remember first meeting her?
I don't get nervous by people, by celebs. I did, as you see, Chris MacNess, in my career, I became an action hero. And so I got to work on movies with, Expendables 3 with Sly, Arnold, Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson. I don't see them as the actors. I see them as the characters they played and my love for them as a child. And so with Lisa, my mom watched Friends. And if I could tell you a little secret, my mom did not like that I threw college sort of away to pursue this acting thing until I booked this show. And she found out that Lisa MF Kudrow was on this show. She as the lead, that she's like, okay, my son's gonna do well. Like he's on Lisa's show. Like that's I mean, I think she was hoping that was gonna go as long as Friends did. But also she knew that Lisa was like coming from Friends, knowing her talent, knowing that this show most likely, because of the type of shows that Lisa does and movies, wasn't gonna be super scandalous or anything like that. And it's a comedy, it's HBO. So I wasn't nervous. I got to tell you, when I met Lisa, and she still is to this day, she's beautiful. She is a beautiful woman, and getting to know her and her family, for someone who has so much success, and I've met some a-holes in the industry, and I'm like, all right, they're probably having a bad day, bad career. But Lisa, every single time on set, so welcoming. She always knew our names. She always asked about us. Same with her and I gotta say, like Julian McMahon, who I just worked with and who soon just passed. Both of them super successful, super human, and they just show up with compassion every day, and the talent is effortless for them. So it was really an honor to work with Lisa, and also it may it be one of my first big projects that helped me also, like working on the comeback helped me get HBO's Generation Kill a few years later. And so I really do adore the HBO family. I really loved all the actors that I got to learn from and work with on the comeback. And I love the sitcom-esque aspect of the show. And I'm really looking to do that again, like in my career. I miss doing comedies. I've done a lot of heavy stuff lately, and you just laugh when you get to rewatch your stuff and be a part of something that makes you laugh.
Well, you bring up something really interesting, which is that, Lisa's nothing like her character. Like knowing Lisa for the 30 years I've known Lisa,
Yeah.
she's channeling a character that is so unbelievably well thought through and has an inside and an outside, but is really, really nurturing and works very, very hard to take care of everybody around her. And she does it in this episode in season 1, where these two other these comic actors, the Beatty Boys, are brought onto to the cast of Room and Board, and the 4 main cast members are really threatened, like, what, they're not going to write for us anymore because these 2 bozos are now on the show. And Valerie is having lunch, and she wants you boys to join, and she wants to hear where you're coming from. It's just interesting because that's a part of Lisa that's also real. Like, Lisa would take care of her castmates off screen the same way that Valerie is wanting to make you sure that Chris and Jesse are okay with what's going on, and how we're gonna do this together. We're gonna do this like a team. We're a family. And then, of course, Kellan. Chris is sort of like really having a hard time with it.
Yeah.
I'm quitting the show.
You are not quitting. You are not quitting anything.
And Judah, she's in everything. I mean, what's up with that?
Okay, I know you're upset, but you can't let that We can't start turning on each other, okay? We have to be there for each other. It's what we have to do, all right? We're the original five, all right? We are the show.
It's not cool.
Boys, it's TV, okay? It happens all the time. And you have to learn to roll with it, my friends. That's how you survive.
True dat.
And the Beatty boys, is that who Amir and
Malik.
yeah, Malik. Great. They're hilarious. It's funny because I see Amir all the time now.
Yeah.
And we're in a poker game and we always talk about like, hey, how do you guys know each other? And we go back to the comeback and they're really talented actors. But the whole scene of that show of how this sucks. Like we feel like we're being replaced. The original five, right? Come on, Val, the original five. And having her be like, yeah, of course. What a tough position. Now that I've been the leads of things to, I mean, it's kind of half and half, right? When you do have the weight that you can swing around, it's sort of an honor to step in for the little guys. But also this being a comeback for Valerie Cherish, you got to be sort of, careful with the waters that you're treading to make sure you don't get fired and need another comeback one day. So that scene, especially at the table and even at the car outside of the studio, where we're all there trying to convince her, telling her how bad this is. And it's, again, my wife's just like, I love when Chris gets emotional and Val will say something and Juna will come, but it's okay. And Chris just goes,
He doesn't want to show it on camera.
no, it's hilarious.
Have you considered talking to Tom or Pauly G about how
Oh,
you feel?
man. I mean, Polly's always laughing at those guys.
Well,
He doesn't even, want to talk to us anymore.
Oh, man. Oh, come on, man. That's cool.
is he crying? Oh, your iced tea's here. Chris, you want to have a sip? Maybe make it feel better.
I love that scene when they're complaining that they cut the scene where he put the firecracker in his ass and put socks on our dicks and ran around the library. Like that's the meaty material that they're devastated over
Like,
losing.
why would they cut that though?
Why-
I mean,
that was my best stuff.
my best stuff.
Wait, was there, I don't know if you'll remember this, but was there any part of Kellan Lutz when you read the script that you were like, why are they bringing two other funny guys onto Room and Board? Like, within the show, do you remember feeling anything like, oh, they're bringing two other people on? Like, or are we not enough? And these guys better not wind up the stars of Room and Board.
I mean, in that case, I think ignorance was just bliss for me at the time. I had no idea how stuff like that happens, right? Like people get replaced, people get fired for multiple reasons and no reasons at all. It's just like, it wasn't working. And so reading those scripts, I still have some of my scripts. I think maybe because I just went through them because that was such a special time in my life, having the first thing that and Stick It, my first movie. But you read something, and for me, having just the virgin eyes of being on the show, I had no idea. I was just happy I had a line, right?
Oh,
Like
good.
I was like, oh, Chris is in this one. Yes.
Yeah. We had no intention.
Yeah, none at all.
We weren't replacing anybody. It was just all about adding more obstacles.
But now that I know, it's like you go back and you watch the show and you're like, after being a part of this Hollywood machine, you can look back and be like, man, they did such a great job capturing the enigma, the organism that Hollywood is. And it's really cool to rewatch these episodes and see that.
I was going to ask you, Kevin, whether that's the episode where she boycotts going back to rehearsal and all of them wind up going.
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah.
It's the same episode. It's also the episode that has one of my favorite laugh out loud moments where the Beatty Boys are yelling at Valerie in the hallway of the studio, and then Chris just like Roadrunner coming out, just like that, like just totally clocks them like out of nowhere. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about where you were thinking about like how nice it was to have that part of your life and really cherish that now at this point in your career. We get to see sort of like a meta version of that in season 2, which again is one of my another favorite scenes and favorite storylines of everything in the comeback, which is where you reunite with Valerie 10 years later at this party. You're a movie star then. She's being celebrated for having yet another comeback. And you're at totally different places of your life, but you immediately have this fond, ecstatic, like loving reaction to seeing her. You just, immediately grab her and Mickey and Jane. It's a real like nostalgic moment for Chris.
No way!
Chris! Look at you.
Oh my God!
Big. Look at you.
It's so good seeing you.
You too. Oh, yeah, remember Mickey?
How could I forget Mickey, my buddy? You're way too long.
Hey, I want you to meet my nephew, Tyler.
Hey, man, how you doing? Good. Why's your shirt all wet?
I jumped off the balcony into the pool.
Nice, man. And that reminds me of something that I would have done back in the day.
Yeah. I loved watching the episode 109 and then 208 right after each other to prepare for this as well, because those are some of my favorite scenes. And now my character, reflective of Kellan's career, I loved doing action movies, and I did so many, and that was sort of Kellan Lutz, action star, just like Chris MacNess and Art Imitating Life. And seeing Chris drive up and be that heartthrob coming out of the car, seeing Laura, and Mickey and or Sarah and Val, it's one of those things where he is like an equal to her. He feels that way. He's famous now, and he's still the lovable little Chris MacNess from day one, where he's just giving everyone hugs and seeing everything as a glass half full, just gratitude in life. And I really love that we were able to take Chris to that next level with confidence, especially as you move through that episode a little bit, and he's trying to get with Val. Like,
Yeah.
how great of a scene and arc for my character to play, that he gets to pursue her and he has that confidence, and she's like, why are you just doing this now? Why not back then? He's like, well, I was embarrassed then. Like, I didn't know. I didn't have the confidence back then. You are who you are, and now I feel like I am able to. And then he still gets turned down, which is, I was like, oh man, because even in the scene, I forgot I said it. He's like, I'm really hard right now, or something like, and I'm like, I forgot I said that. And how just the writing's so good.
Why don't you hit me back anytime, Val?
I will hit you.
But tonight would be the best because I'm really fucking hard right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you listen, you're hitting on something that was important to us, because we had to sort of 10 years later, we had to embrace certain realities.
Yeah.
That Juna, like Malin, had a career over the 10 years that passed. So if we're going to meet Juna again 10 years later, Malin Ackerman has grown in her career, as has Kellan Lutz.
Yeah.
So why not embrace the realities of these actors' characters who have also seen that kind of success? And to what degree do they credit Valerie and still have a relationship with Valerie and have feelings for Valerie? And it was very helpful that Kellan, the action star, Chris, the action star that he is, shows up to Malin's party, and that at that party, and listen, she's just had a really tough time with her husband. This is the day. This is the day before the Emmys. Everything is coming to a head. It's the finale of the season, and Chris is taking his shot at a time where the audience doesn't know. Well, Marky Mark is not home. So, like, is this going to be the night before the Emmys where she, gets everything that she wants? And it looks like Valerie is really considering letting you come through the back door.
Through the back door. I can go through the back door, Val. Yeah. Who needs to know?
In whatever way that you meant that. It's really a tense and exciting and hilarious scene.
I'll go around. No, just come through the back door.
You know what? I don't do back door, so I'm sure that's a big letdown for you, and I understand.
I mean, I have to say, rewatching the scene of the two of you at the door of her house, and you're just getting so close to her face, and she's, getting backed into the door. I'm giggling to myself, but also sort of like fanning myself. It's really hot the way that Chris is hitting on her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, I was hoping, for it's interesting because after the comeback came back and me really knowing who Lisa Kudrow is, and she's fantastic. I've watched she's brilliant in all her stuff, movies. I'm like, man, do I get to kiss Lisa? Like this is Val, yes, Val, but Lisa Kudrow, I mean, that would be amazing. And I was watching, I'm like, because I know she leans in, she's like, oh, I'll give you a kiss, Chris. You're being so sweet. And I was like, did we kiss? I don't remember. And it's like sort of blocked in the doorway. And I was like, oh, I'll act like we did. No.
She kissed you on the cheek. I think she
Yeah, it was
kissed you on
really,
the
really,
cheek.
really sweet. It's just funny what you don't remember until you rewatch something. And you're like, I got a kiss on the cheek. Yes.
You want me to take my shirt off?
I can rent one of your movies if I want to see that, or on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I will do? I'm gonna give you a kiss because you are doing me a world of good. Thank you.
You filled her with so much confidence, though. Like for Valerie, she's beaming. She's beaming. She can't believe it. Like she's like a little girl again. And it's such a gift. It's such a gift the day before the Emmys when the shit literally hits the fan and everyone's clothes.
And it's so much fun to watch a movie star like Chris just like not be self-conscious or hesitant to just like really go for it. He's just like, I'm this big movie star. Of course I'm going to hit on this girl. And of course, the amount of she can say no 15 times. I'm just going to offer to go around the back door.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no part of Chris that's like self-conscious. And even the admission in the bathroom, even his confession to her about like, do you remember what you said to me? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, he remembers a very small little comment, but like it really stuck with him.
Yeah.
About the price of success
Yep.
is take whatever comes at you, which is a very much a comeback theme, a very much a Valerie Cherish theme, which is like, you have to adapt, you have to pivot no matter how hard it was. And you had stepped on a nail and you carried that with you. Chris carried that with him into his career. But I also believe that Kellan Lutz carried, the kindness that you got to see on the set of the comeback and the ways that celebrities, or at least the ones that weren't a-holes, treated you as you were coming up has informed the kind of star you are when you're number one on the call sheet. You know what I mean?
No, thank you. Yeah, I love that scene. Remember, I was running around, I stepped on the nail, and she's like, yeah. What'd you say to me?
He's like, oh, we're still on the nail again?
So anyways, I stepped on the nail.
Oh, that's still on the nail.
Val. Yeah, well, remember I was running around the back lot? I was trying to get my energy up for the surf contest scene.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so then I stepped on the nail and you said...
For God's sake, what'd I say?
You said... the price of stardom.
Right, now you are a star.
The point is, you treated me like a star way back then.
Yeah, but thank you. And I have worked with a lot of great people. Jeff Bridges, one of my favorite ones. He always told me on Stick It, where he's like, don't make the industry your life. Make your life outside the industry, because the industry is always looking to chew you up and spit you out. And if you make that your identity, it's a terrible one to make, as far as that being your identity. And so I always held on to advice from the people ahead of me. And also my mom. I grew up in a really good household, so I don't think she would let me balloon my head even during the Twilight days. That she helped keep me grounded. And I have a lot of brothers who would make sure I stayed grounded. And I still love this industry. I love acting. It has changed so much from day one. 25 years ago, but I still love it. I love being on sets. I love doing comedies, action, dramas. It's just fun to create. So I'm glad the comeback's here again, and I'm excited to watch it. If you guys do a watch party, please let me know.
We will, of course. Of course, of course.
So Dan has devised this series of questions that we've been asking everyone who's joined us on this Rewatch podcast. So we want to ask a few to you. My first one for you is, has there been a Valerie cherished moment from your own life? You know, something that, you think something big is about to happen and then you're very humbled. Something might go wrong, like your dignity or your ego might take a bruise. Has there been a Valerie moment from your own life that you can remember?
I don't know. I don't really get embarrassed. I own whatever I do. I have no issue apologizing for something. It's if I think something or if I say something, I just own it. And again, I'm easily able to laugh at myself. So some of my jokes are intentional. Some I just take something a different way and maybe a little bit too scientific or analytical for my science brain. And then it's like, no, I didn't mean it like that. And you put your foot in your mouth, but I'm never embarrassed with it. I love life too much to get super embarrassed like that.
I love that. Did anybody ever mistake you for somebody that they thought you were, but you were somebody else? Like
All the time. I mean, I get Chris Hemsworth or Chris Pratt all the time. My middle name's Chris. It's I'm like, should I go by Chris Lutz? I'd be in a Marvel series or something. But no, I don't mind it because those guys, they're amazing human beings. I love all the Chris's, Chris Evans. I've had really great things with all of them.
Yeah, it's
And
flattering.
of course, yeah, it's very flattering. Now, if it was someone not as flattering, like in the beginning of my career, I got Matt Damon, even though he's so many years older. And I'm like, hey, I'm a huge fan of his as well. But yeah, there hasn't been anyone. And again, people have given me free stuff because they think I am Chris Hemsworth.
Great.
I don't
Take
have
it.
to say anything and, be like, I let you believe what you want to believe. Sure, if you want to give me this table at the restaurant, if you want to count the bill, cool.
I had two kids come up to me at the mall and asked for my autograph, and I was like, obviously, I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet of you. They thought I was Sean Hayes.
Oh,
I'm sorry, and I'm friends with Sean, so the whole thing made me laugh.
that is stereotyping a little bit.
But it's a classic. That's a Val Cherish moment if you want one. There's another one that we always ask people: is there any role in the whole series of The Comeback? If you couldn't have played Chris, like what do you think besides Valerie? What do you think would have been a really fun role to play?
I mean, your role would be freaking hilarious. The PR person, I would have so much fun doing that, Billy. I think also like Lance and Robert, them being the writers, they were dicks, right? But like they did it so well, and I think that would be fun. And then if they did a spin with sorry, I meant Laura Silverman, Jane.
Jane.
He did such a great job that if it was like a gender change, if it was a guy, I think I would love to play what she did.
Yeah,
like she was so great.
We've asked everyone that we talked to about this, and I didn't realize until I was rewatching these episodes yesterday. For me, I should have always said it's Mickey.
Oh,
Like I don't like he did the funniest run with Lisa through the studio when she had called out and didn't realize it, and he out of breath and is sort of like fainting onto a box and reaching out for her like, go on without me. It was cracking up. I was like, oh, this is a role I would want to play.
Well, so the thing with that is if you play that role, then Mickey wouldn't, right? And I want to act with Mickey. So I was close to saying that, but I love what he did.
he was singular. He was a singular. He wasn't even acting at the time. I think Michael plucked him because he knew him. And it was like that character was that man. So it's almost hard to imagine anybody playing that part. But
Which is great when you're a producer or director and you find such a character that's so unique and that they're just playing themselves, you get the best acting with it. And I loved that he was in it. And he had a heart of gold. I remember talking to him. He was just the sweetest.
he was the greatest. And we'd have a great tribute to him in season 3. You'll see.
Okay, cool.
Spoiler alert.
All right, Kellan, well, thank you so much for chatting with us. It's been so much fun talking with you about The Comeback. I could do it all day, every day for the rest of my life. So this is just a blast. Thank you.
Thank you. It's so great to see you again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everyone else.
Wow, thank you so much, Kellan, for chatting with us. That was so much fun. I could have heard you tell stories about my favorite episode where he was hitting on Lisa Kudrow at her house forever. It's so funny. And it's such great things to say about it.
I know. I also love how, your mom didn't necessarily want you to go. His mom didn't want him to go into show business. But he, when he said he got a job with Lisa Kudrow, she was like, oh, maybe not so bad.
No, that's pretty relatable. What was your favorite moment of the interview? Please let us know. What was your favorite moment with Chris in the comeback? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, remember to subscribe to us on YouTube at the Obsessed channel. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And if you think I'm entertaining or funny in any way, please subscribe to my Substack at obsessed.substack.com. Thank you to our producers, Devin Rogerino and Rachel Presser. And Dan, as always, thank you.
Thank you for having me. I love doing this, and I'll continue on Instagram to be posting about our podcast and about The Comeback, which premieres March 22nd on HBO Max.
Cannot wait. I'll see you all next time.